She's 19. At the time of her arrest, she was 18 years old, right? And this happened in Sussex. So, in Europe, right? And when you turn 18, it's kind of a big deal, right? It just is. Like, I believe that it is in all cultures right across the world. It's a big deal to turn 18, you know? There are some milestone birthdays: 16, 18, 21, 40, you know, and then it's kind of all downhill from there. But so she turned 18 and she wanted to party. So she partied super hard, right? She partied for 6 days straight, which is crazy. I didn't go that ham for my 18th birthday, but the problem is she has a kid. So that's okay. So what, you just abandoned your kid for 6 months, left him with the grandparents? That's kind of messed up. Nope. She left her kid alone in her home, which she shares with no one, by itself for 6 days straight.
Shit.
Yeah. So December 5th, 2019, there's video of her leaving her apartment building and then not returning until December 11th. She obviously found the baby passed away, called the cops, and baby's gone. So what happened? Oh, well, you know, I was out partying. See, and this is the crazy thing about it, right? You ever hear those stories where, like, you know, a new mom, like, gets frustrated, shakes the baby, kills the baby, buries the baby, or, like, it reports the baby missing or some shit like that? Like, even that, I could kind of chalk up to, you know, being young and making a dumb decision. But this, you party, you go ham, you drink, you get drunk, you lose your train of thought, you pass out, you wake up in the morning, oh my God, I gotta go home. You wake up in the morning, you're sober, and you realize that thought. She said, no, I'm gonna get drunk again, or whatever again. And then woke up the next day and said, I'm gonna do it again, and so on. So for 6 days, bro.
Yeah.
For 6 fucking days.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Because it's just like there's so many, like, you know me already, man. I hear these type of stories and I come up with a bunch of different questions that I have in my head. Like, my first question is, why would she have the baby? Because clearly she didn't want the kid. You know what I mean? Because if you had a love for the kid, or if you wanted the kid, even if you were to leave it alone for a night, which is crazy, like you said, you'd wake up the next morning and then you'd probably think, okay, maybe I should feed this kid. Maybe the kid has to use the washroom. You know what I'm saying? These are kids that wear diapers and stuff like that. So there's so many things that, like, it doesn't matter what age you are. You just have to know. You know that babies go in diapers, like, multiple times in a day. So leaving one diaper on the baby for 6 days is probably not going to be enough, let alone the food. If they're breastfeeding, do they need milk at that time? Can they eat solid foods? You know what I'm saying? There's so many factors that make me think to myself, did you really want this kid in the first place? And if you didn't, why have the kid? Obviously, I don't know anything about her family situation, so I can only sit here and assume that she was alone. Because obviously, if you're having a kid, there's another parent, but there's also your family that usually helps or is around. So I'm guessing that she was alone in this situation. Because if other people were around, this makes this whole situation even worse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But overall, when I look at this case, it's the same thing that I've been saying from time. Besides the whole point that I always make, where you should have a license for having a kid, the point that I try to make with when I say that is as simple as this: if you don't want to have a kid, don't have a kid. If you're ready and you feel like you're able to have a kid, have the child. If after you change your mind, do not let your own pride step in the way, man. Because a lot of these people keep pride in their own way, and people a lot of time when people come up to them and they say, you know, you won't be able to take care of the kid, or you're too young to take care of this kid, or you're going to be a bad parent. A lot of times people just want to prove people wrong.
Right. It's true.
They don't really care about the kid. Their own pride steps in, and it's just like, okay, well, you don't think I can do this? Well, I'm going to show you that I can do this. Or they want to prove it to the baby daddy that they can do it by themselves, whatever, or the baby mom, whatever. It's not the way to go about it, man. And this is another case, like. This
is just I don't know how many more stories like this we have to hear. You know, it's really, really disheartening. And you know, rest in peace to that baby, man. That child deserved more than that. And when I shared this story with my wife, I was walking away to grab some tea because I just couldn't stomach having the conversation anymore. Like, it really bothered me naturally, like it would bother anyone. And then she said the one thing that just made it worse, which was, imagine that baby just laying there crying with no one. And I couldn't, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't, man. Like, how? You know what I mean? Like, I'll say it again. There has to be a special place in hell for people like this. You know? I mean, I hope she gets it right. I really do. And this is the religious side of me talking. I hope she gets it right. But, I mean, how do you atone for something like this? How do you do that? I don't know, man. Viewing public, like I said, this happened in 2019. Her sentencing is supposed to be this year. I hope they put her under the jail cell. I don't mean that figuratively. But, you know.
Well, if there's space under there, I mean, you know, if they got a basement.
Fine. But
the
the point is, yeah, man, she really, in all sense of the word, has everything that's coming to her. Listen, viewing public, if you have any comments on this, any links to further updates to the story, leave it in the comments. Definitely interested on following this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and adeuces. Just in case you guys wanted to see what the little girl looks like. So, Dre, let me ask you a question. You don't have a child, but let's just say you did. You hired.
Not that I know of.
Okay, fine. You hired a sitter because you had to go to work. So you go to work, you hire this sitter, and
check.
You know, you have the nanny cam. You check the nanny cam, and you see the sitter kind of wiping some stuff off the floor, and you see your kid kind of motionless, and you call up the sitter. And your sitter says, yeah, you know, he's bleeding from the nose. You know, come home. It's an emergency. So before you get home, you say, what? And you check the nanny cam. You rewind that bitch. And then when you rewind it, you happen to see that your babysitter is repeatedly kicking your child in the head to the point where your 5-year-old dies. Now, you know this information. You know this information before you get to the house because you checked the nanny cam, right? That sounded weird, bleeding from the... You checked the nanny cam. What do you do?
Oh, no, you can't do that to me because then I'm about to catch a case. I mean, you know, there's going to be a lot of violence. You know, I'm going to be very vague. There's going to be a lot of violence, a lot of aggression, a lot of yelling. You know, some extracurricular activities may be indulged when I encounter this person, but it's going to be one hell of a drive home. I'm telling you that much. I don't know where the parents were at the time, but that drive home is going to be pretty much insane.
This is the sitter, by the way. This is the sitter. And like I said, the parents were at work. They were at work. That's why they have a sitter. The parents were at work.
Right. See, like, that's even worse, being at work, man. Because I can't imagine, like, I'm the husband, so I'm imagining the wife, you know? That's the first thing I'm thinking about, the child, and I'm thinking about the wife right after and how she's reacting to this, and she's got to see this, so I'm trying to get home as quickly as possible, and that confrontation is going to be very, very aggressive. Hopefully I call somebody before, but most likely, knowing myself, there's nobody I really need to call.
Right.
You know, everybody that I need is in the car ride with me on the way home.
It's crazy because the husband, it was the opposite. Like, he called the cops, and, you know, this lady's being charged with first-degree murder. A little bit of context there. She didn't just spaz out of nowhere. The 5-year-old has an issue with wetting their pants, and, you know, she was constantly having to clean it up. So I guess she just snapped. She's like, one too many times type of thing. And she just snapped, and that was the result of that. But this guy kept his composure, and he called the cops. Now, granted, I'm assuming he's probably like, I'm going to kill this bitch. I am literally going to go there and strangle her with my bare hands. And if it sounds like that's a real reaction, that's because that's the reaction that I would have. I wouldn't shoot her. I wouldn't stab her. That'd be too quick. I literally have to strangle her. But anyways, enough about me. So I feel like he probably had the same feelings, but he said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! There's another kid there. He has 2 children. She took the life of their 5-year-old. So there's another kid he has to think about. Plus the wife. There's a wife that he needs to console. That's going to be going through it. Right. So we said, you know what? Let me get the cops there, because if the cops aren't there, I'm going to do something illegal. And then now my family just lost 2 people. You know what I mean? So obviously a cooler head prevailed. I don't know how cool my head would be, my friend.
That's crazy to me. That's insane that he kept his head like that. That's nuts, man.
Yeah, because I really think I would play it off. If I seen that, I'd be like, yeah, don't worry, I'll be there in a second. I'll be nice and calm. Did you call the ambulance? Said it's okay, don't worry. I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna take him straight to the ambulance, just so there's no police there. And then the things that I'm going to do to that babysitter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then when the cops show up, I'm gonna be like, you don't understand. I wasn't here the whole time, officer. Apparently, you can see the footage cut off, but right after she kicked the baby got up, and the baby strangled her to death, and then they both passed away. Is what happened, officer.
But
I wish I had all the footage for you. I really do.
But the crazy thing is like, and we're saying this out of emotion, right? But the reality is any parent would react that way. And I got to be honest with you, no cop showing up, no arresting cop showing up to that scene would feel bad for the babysitter. Any cop, especially if they have a child, would be like, look, man, what you did here was fucked up, but I understand it, and I'm sorry, I have to arrest you. Because if the roles were reversed, badge be damn. Again, this is just another lesson, right? Like, parents, this is not me blaming. I'm not shifting blame here, obviously, on the parents, but it's a teachable moment, man. Like, be careful who you leave your kids around. I don't know if this person was a friend of the family. I don't know if they were family, but even that, just because it's blood doesn't mean it's safe. You understand? Like, that doesn't mean it's safe. So, your kid relies on you to protect them. That's it. That's all they have. They don't even have themselves. You give them a weapon, they don't even know what to do with that. They just rely on you. Right?
It's hard to gauge people out here. It's hard to gauge. Like, you got to feel a little bit guilty as the parents, though, because at the end of the day, who selected the babysitter?
Of course, the parents feel guilt. Any parent would feel guilty about that. They're blaming themselves right now as we speak, Dre. Right now as we speak, they can't sleep. But they got to keep it together for the other child.
Yeah, you can't really gauge people like that, though. So if they, hopefully they're not blaming themselves. But I mean, how do you fuck?
So, yeah, man, again, another story we will be following. If you guys notice, I haven't mentioned any names, just out of respect, but I will show this person's face yet again. Right? Seem like a regular schmegula person. Doesn't even look crazy.
No. That we must be looking at different pictures, homie. That's a serial killer right there.
Is it?
That is Chris Hansen is talking about her on True Crime right now.
This happened in Las Vegas, right? This happened in Vegas. Not that that matters, but just so you guys know. But yeah, man, crazy. Leave it in the comments, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, if you guys have any updates on this story, it's obviously going to be developing. Leave it. Let us know what's going on, man. This is a sick one. Adios. So Soulja Boy.
I didn't even want to talk about this one.
No. There's a reason why I brought it up.
Okay. So you can start again then.
Yeah. So Soulja Boy says that he wants to knock out Jake Paul and Randy Orton. So he tweets, "You a bitch, Randy Orton, and I mean that 100% pussy." So there he goes. That's one. And then he says, WWE scared of me, and Randy Orton, pussy. That big cap used somebody else's name for the ratings. I knew they was too fake to have me there. I'll slap the shit out of dude live. And there you go. There's another tweet from Soulja. Okay, and still gonna knock Jake Paul out when I see him. Gotta get that get back for Nate. And there's another tweet. Now, I don't care about Soulja Boy. And we all know what this is about. This is just about clout. The reason that I even wanted to talk about this, Dre, is I wanted to ask you, is there any rapper that you just want to see just get humbled, just knocked the fuck out? Just the humble. Not shot, not stabbed. Just humble. Just knocked the fuck out.
I mean, yeah, there's a few of them. There's a few of them, you know.
So, I mean, Soulja Boy obviously comes to mind. You know what I mean? Just for the way he trolls people, but not even trolling people. And he literally says he will fight them. And, you know, and I kind of understand why he has that angle. Like, he has killed someone, but he killed someone in self-defense. Not that makes it any less.
Boom, bow, boom, and I shot him in his ass, and had the gun, the purple gun, had the purple gun. It was like pow, pow.
But he talks a lot of shit, and I would love to see him get humbled. Him, and obviously it goes without saying, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Do you?
Right, that's probably the top of anybody else. That's probably the top of everybody's list, actually.
So, I mean, besides security, why do you think it's never happened?
With these guys?
Sorry. One more person. They're not a rapper, though. I am a fan of his content, of course. But DJ Academics, he needs to get knocked the fuck out. He needs to get humbled.
That would be good to see.
Okay, but go ahead. Sorry. Yes. Why do you think this has not happened outside of security?
I mean, as far as the entertainers, like the other rappers and people like that, they can't get involved because these guys probably know who their boys are. They probably know stories and stuff like that, behind the scenes things. So they don't want to get involved because that shit will become public. It might ruin them, you know what I mean? So they can't even indirectly get involved, hire somebody or whatever. As far as the fans, I mean,
that's what I mean, the fans. Why haven't a fan just seen one of these dudes just lacking and just knock them the fuck out?
I mean, I think a lot of people don't take Soulja Boy seriously, just at the end of the day. I feel like a lot of people just don't take him seriously, and those that do take him seriously, he knows, and he just does not go to those areas. Because I don't really see Soulja Boy out like that. I don't really see him out in the streets. Like he might do it.
He was in Boston.
Right, he does it for videos, though. He does it for videos, so he might just be out there like Tekashi 6ix9ine was doing to just film those videos, and then he's out, because we all see what happens when he goes to the hood and he tries to act like he's really from there. He got punked. Unfortunately, he did that on live because he thought it was going to be cool, this dumbass. So now he just makes the little clips and shit like that. He's not going anywhere. Tekashi 6ix9ine has a bunch of security around him, so that's why nothing happens.
And how about DJ Academics?
He stays in his basement, bro. He doesn't. Where is he going? He goes home, and then he used to go to the complex building, and then he would go back home because all of his work that he needs to do is from his computer desk.
Okay, so let me okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's not necessary. But let me ask you this question: these people that we've mentioned, they're millionaires. They're doing very well in their respective field. They're doing good. You have a face. But you can't. But Soulja Boy does very well. I'm sorry.
Let's just say that they have money. Yeah, they have money.
Thank you. All right. Now, if that's
they're not doing well.
Okay, fine. But if that's well to me. But if that's the case, and they've been doing all this aggressive clout chasing, talking nothing but mad shit, and it's worked for them. Why don't other people do it? Why haven't we've had this conversation briefly before a long time ago, and you've already spoken to that as far as Toronto goes, because everyone's local and they will see you. right. Toronto's not big enough for that. They will see. Toronto's not big enough for those shenanigans. Why don't other people do this?
I mean, there's a risk factor that comes along with this.
Clearly, there's not. They're perfectly fine. They're safe. But these guys. Nothing's happened to any of them.
These guys, okay, when 6ix9ine was doing this, at first he had the gang around him, and then after the gang, it was a bunch of security guards. This guy was paying like $100,000 a week for security. That's not safe. That's not anything cool to live with. I don't like that lifestyle. As far as DJ Academics, like I said, these artists are not going to fuck with him because he knows a lot of shit. He could probably expose a lot of these rappers in the game right now with a lot of shit that he doesn't speak about, let alone behold the stuff that he does talk about. So what I'm trying to say is these guys all have things that they know in the back of their head, they have to protect them from the
Not
dangers
Soulja Boy.
of
Not Soulja Boy.
all these things. Soulja Boy. Listen, I don't know a lot about Soulja Boy. Me personally, I don't take Soulja Boy serious.
No one does.
At all. So when he talks this big gang talk or whatever, it's cool. He's not doing nothing. He's not hurting nobody. He's not affecting my life. You know what I'm saying? So he can go out and say whatever he wants. If I see him out in the streets and he acts tough for some reason, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna approach him on no tough shit. I don't give a fuck what he's doing. Nobody really does. I don't see why anybody would hate Soulja Boy. What is he doing?
Jake Paul. Last question. Jake Paul, Soulja Boy. Who's winning in a celebrity match?
Jake Paul.
I can't even finish the sentence.
You know, you don't even have to finish the sentence. That's the dumbest thing I've ever. You seen the video of this guy trying to box?
Yeah.
Okay, so stop this. I don't know why he was punching. If that nigga was punching balloons, they wouldn't pop. You know what I mean? Like, so,
with scissors in his hands.
He's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing.
Viewing,
that's on mama. That's on mamas.
Yo, viewing public, what are your thoughts here, man? Soulja Boy, are you guys? Do you guys take anything he says serious? He did catch a body,
according to Soulja Boy. Now let's move on from that story.
Don't forget to leave it in the comments, like and subscribe. Oh, one other question: Soulja Boy versus Dre. Who do you got? Leave it in the comments. Deuces. As a follow-up to its Jesus shoes, the company MSCHF will sell 666 pairs of Satan shoes in collaboration with Lil Nas X. And apparently they're going to have blood in them. And Nike doesn't approve.
Yeah, exactly. So many questions. But this shoe is tied to he has a new music video out called Montero, for those who don't know. And in Montero, he is, among other things, lap dancing on the devil, in case you haven't seen it. And when I say lap dancing, I mean in his underwear, like full-on lap dancing on the male devil. So I guess these shoes are tied because they have that satanic thing to them. And the blood came from the employees, like 6 employees of the company. And it's in the ink that they use to write one of the scriptures. There's a biblical scripture that they quote on the shoe as well. So it's in there and in the bubble, the little bubble that the shoe has. But my confusion is like, how you make a shoe with a Nike swoosh and Nike has no part of it? I don't get how they're able to get away with that. But my main thing when I sent this to you is this an example of somebody literally selling their soul for fame, you think?
100%. 100% is. I've said it a couple of times. My religious beliefs on this podcast. I'm a Christian, and some people could look at this and they could just be like, "Look, it's entertainment." You know, there's a TV show called Lucifer, for goodness sakes, right? Movies and so on and so forth, right? But let's just stay here. And some people could just look at it as, "Hey, it's just entertainment," you know, and that's fine. Right? It is just entertainment. And Lil Nas X, whether he knows it or not, and also everybody else involved with this shoe, but let's keep it on Lil Nas X, whether he knows it or not, he is involuntarily, so let's just go with the narrative that he doesn't know. He is involuntarily working with the devil. What are we talking about here? If I'm not a Donald Trump fan, or if I don't support the KKK, probably not going to see me with a KKK shirt on or a Donald Trump shirt on. No, I don't care how cold it is. I'm not putting it on. Right? So a lot of people will look at this and be like, oh, it's just the aesthetics. It's cool. It's da-da-da-da-da. And that's all good. But that's what Satan wants. That's what the devil wants. He wants you to take him. I'm going to try not to get too preachy, but he wants to do the little light touch. He doesn't want to be so in your face and horns and scary. No, he wants it to be fun. Because when it's fun, then more people are attracted to it, and that's what he wants. So if Lil Nas X thinks he's just having fun with it, I gotta be honest with you, bro. That was having fun with you. Do you know what I mean? With you. And at the end of the day, there's a price to pay for all this. Yes, he's cashing out. Of course he is. Getting a shoe. Are you kidding me? He's cashing out. But at what cost?
Yeah, and I mean that's you. Think about it this way, though. Think about it this way. So this is him doing this, and of course you're a religious person, so you have that aspect of it. But there's another aspect that has to be considered as well. And of course you are not part of this community, but if you are part of the LGBTQ community, and you see this, you're watching this music video, and this is somebody who is outwardly gay, has come out a long time ago, and is big in music, and you're a fan of his now. You see this and you watch this, and I know it's hard to put yourself in the shoes of somebody like that, but if you could put yourself in the shoes, you see this music video, you hear about this shoe, how do you feel now? Does this change your perception of him? Are you still a fan, or you know what I mean?
That all depends on where my stance is religiously. Because gay people are still Christians. There's still churches that accept gay people. You know what I mean? So it all depends, and it really, and just scratch even churches, whether or not I'm invited or not. If I'm a part of that community, it just still depends on my stance. Just because I'm a part of that community doesn't mean I'm not religious. So, like I said, and I don't even know Lil Nas X's religion. He could be.
I mean, from the aspect of how does this make? Does this have a bad effect on the gay community? Like, if you're not gay and you're watching this video, this is a man who is. Now you're in, as far as rap community goes, that's the only gay person that we know that's in that community, right? So this is kind of the symbol as far as that, and this is how they're portraying themselves. Are you offended by that?
I'm not. I'm not offended at all. As far as the my hypothetical sexuality is concerned, I don't take offense to that. I would only be offended if I was Christian. I'm straight. I'm Christian. I'm offended. He's a gay person doing this, and I'm straight. I'm offended. You understand what I'm saying? So, right. I get your point, but if it was just based on sexual orientation, as far as like him being a representative of our community, if I was part of that community, I would not be offended by that. It all depends on what my religion is. That's the only way that I'll be offended.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I think I agree with you. I don't know how I would feel about him now if I was a fan, whether I was gay or not, just at this point, because, like, I mean, it doesn't get any more, just like, everybody already had their feelings about him as far as an artist, right? And I understand doing what you have to do to try to get attention, but I mean, there's limits to everything. And I did watch the music video because I wanted to see what everybody was talking about. And trust me, when you watch it, it's worse than just sitting here and thinking about what's in the video. Just me telling you what's in it, and probably the visual that you're creating.
My mind's already going.
It's worse. The video is worse, my man. It is so much worse. And I don't understand his thinking about this, especially with wanting, just coming out and gaining all that sympathy from all of these people and gaining all of that support, and then you doing something like this, showing that your motives are not really about morality. You can be an atheist. You don't have to be religious. That's cool. But you don't have to go against everybody else like this, because then when people attack the gay community, what is your defense now, homeboy? Because you just came after everybody that's religious, pretty much.
It's pretty fucked up.
I don't know if that was his intention, but that is kind of what he did. So now if I'm a heavily Christian, if I'm a heavy Christian now, right, and I see Lil Nas X and I come at him now for being gay, which, I mean, people were doing it before, so they're going to do it after. Mm-hmm. But now if I do it, can you get mad at me for doing it?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I'm just saying.
But I understand what you're saying. Eye
for an eye makes the whole world blind, and especially when you put money on top of that, it's just, I don't know, man. I wasn't really checking for Lil Nas X's music in the first place, but after seeing this little stunt, I now have zero likings for him and anything that he represents at this point.
Agreed.
This is crazy.
Agreed. Remember when I told you, and I mean it today, one of his biggest songs, or one of the biggest songs, Old Town Country Road, I've never even heard it.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with his sexuality. It's just, I don't like country music. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to listen to it. And I wonder
how many of the people that supported him with that song were religious. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted
to. That's a great question. It's a great question, and I damn sure ain't going to be listening to this. So yeah, I didn't mean to be looking away from the screen. It's just in the interest of the conversation. I was just trying to find out if it speaks to his religion anywhere, and early life.
Well, he definitely can't. He can't be religious and do a video like that. There's no fucking way.
You'd be surprised.
Nah, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. That's not even possible. He probably feels like God doesn't love him or believe in him. He's probably one of those. I have to assume that he's one of those thinkers.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that. I would just think he just cares about money.
But you also have to have a serious dislike for even if you're not religious, just out of respect. You know what I mean?
Personal life. 1 second. Okay. No, it doesn't say anything. I'm trying to find it. Nothing. But yeah. Anyways, the point is yeah, bro. You're gonna have some interesting conversations, in my opinion, on Judgment Day. So I hope you're ready for that. Viewing public, what are your thoughts here? Are we tripping? Do you guys think it's just entertainment? Leave it in the comments, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I want to hear from people from the LGBT community on this one too.
Good point. Yeah, man.
I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear specifically how y'all feel about this. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear from people who are religious, how they feel about this, but I already know how y'all feel about that.
Yeah.
So I want to hear from somebody that I don't know, because I may be just, tripping out here for no reason.
Yes, that's a great point. LGBTQ plus community. After this content has been put out, are you all now deterred from Lil Nas X? Do you feel like still driving on that Old Town Country Road? We gotta be taking a freeway with the rest of us. Leave it in the comments. Adeusis.